As I've mentioned in several videos by this point, my friend Private Panzer is a rail fan, but he doesn't post his train videos. We've been friends for a few years, but we really started talking regularly last year. And during that time, we basically traded interests. I got him into trains, and he got me back into aircraft. And now I've gained somewhat of an appreciation for military stuff as well. Quite the interest swap. And because of that, he started railfanning. But because of his channel's pretext as a military channel, he didn't want to post his train clips because they would take over his channel. So he decided to send them to me, and I'm going to make a video with them instead, because trains are my thing. This video will cover all the trains that he caught while I wasn't there from the second half of 2025 and the very early months of 2026. None of these clips have been on the internet before this, so yeah. I hope you're excited to take a look at these because, oh boy, bro caught some very awesome stuff, and I'm extremely jealous. Panzer's first ever time rail fanning was on September 8th, 2025. He only caught one train on this day, which was an eastbound Norfolk Southern domestic intermodal with a back-to-back GEVO duo. He was disappointed after that trip since he only caught one train and it was junk. So he returned 2 days later for redemption, only for basically the same thing to happen again. The only train he caught on this day was yet another eastbound domestic intermodal with junk. He would finally get his redemption on the Earth, Wind, and Fire Day of September 21st, 2025. I so would have been here for this if the Centennial Excursion didn't run on this day. And I know I had fun during the Centennial Excursion, but trust me, I would have skipped it if I knew this was coming. Because the first train he caught was an eastbound Union Pacific transfer manifest, with a Thundercab Ace leading and an SD40N trailing second. And it wasn't in tow, it was online. What? These engines are already pretty rare, and seeing them outside of yard or local service is, like, literally impossible. Like, how did this show up? He got a self-admitted, not great shot of it, but the fact he saw it at all, oh my god, I'm so jealous. The next train was also a transfer manifest, this being the BNSF westbound transfer 33G with a GEVO duo. The third train he got on this day was the first one that didn't have foreign power. It was the local B09 heading east with 9760, the Dash 9 that was assigned to it at this point, in the lead. I never did get to see 9760 leading during its stint on B09, and I'm jealous of him for actually catching it. When he showed me the footage from this trip and I told him that it was a Dash 9, that was his first time finding out that Dash 9s were rare. Next up was an eastbound trackage right CPKC Autorack train, with a GEVO leading and old unrebuilt AC-44 as the mid-DPU. For some reason it was crawling by. His trip on this day finished the same way it started, a UP transfer manifest, this time heading westbound. The first and last engines were nothing too special, but the two engines sandwiched in the middle were interesting. The trailing AC-44 is ex-Southern Pacific, and the third engine is an Ace. They also gave him a horn salute. Skipping over the trip where I was with Panzer on September 28th, 2025, he managed to make it back to the track solo unintentionally 2 days later on September 30th, 2025, this time at the hospital spot. He caught two trains here, the first being a westbound CPKC Autorack trackage rights train with a CP and KCSM unit. It also blew its horn for some reason. And after that, he got an incredibly rare move. A westbound manifest with two thoroughbred GP60s in tow. These two used to be assigned to the B08 local, but have since been moved. Not sure where they ended up now, but Panzer accidentally caught their final run on the Chicago line for the foreseeable future. With how good his luck had been that morning, he decided to try his chances and go back that afternoon in hopes of seeing something else good. He failed to catch an eastbound manifest as it was arriving as he was arriving, but he did get one proper train, a westbound with, junk. Panzer returned to the depot for a short trip on October 2nd, 2025, where he also ran into another one of my friends, Northwest Indiana Railfan, aka Liam. Either way, he caught 3 trains on this day, the first one being an eastbound international intermodal with some junk. The next train they caught was another eastbound international intermodal, except this time it was the BNSF Transfer 1 266. And strangely, it had a UP Ace trailing second. Not often you get UP foreign power on this train, since it's a BNSF transfer. And the final train they caught on this day was a westbound intermodal with 2 disgusting C6Ms for power. returned for a short trip the following day on October 3rd, 2025, where he caught 2 trains. The first being B09 eastbound with a very fresh AC-44 C6M in the lead. And the second train was a trio of undesirable engines heading west on a manifest. And now, we have arrived at Monday, October 13th, 2025. Panzer's self-admitted best railfanning trip ever. To say I'm jealous I wasn't here is a horrific understatement. Despite the insanity of this day, it didn't start out on a very good note. His first train was an eastbound intermodal with only C6M junk for power. Next up was his first good train of the outing, which would start a trend. It was B08, heading west with its normal, awesome, thoroughbred GP60 duo. The next train he caught was another good one, an eastbound CPKC trackage rights manifest with a rare 8600 series AC-44 as solo lead. However, after the leader passed, one of the luckiest things I have ever seen happen to any railfan on this line happened.
Okay, so the CPKC just stopped. We're gonna go see this unit down here, because it just stopped right at the end of the train. It was going slow, and then it just stopped. So we're just gonna go back here to this KCS unit, I think. Yeah, it's KCS. Look at that. Yeah. Nope. No. Whoa, wait a second. Okay, so I just spoke with the guy on that heritage unit back there. It broke down. That's really funny. It just stopped, and that's a heritage unit. I thought it was a KCS for a second, and I went up to it, and I'm like, nope, that's not a KCS, that's a heritage unit. And I asked him about it. Yeah, it's a heritage unit. So, second heritage unit caught on camera. That's great. Really good. And it's going backwards. They're going to drop the heritage unit off with the rest of the train because I guess it fell off or something. I don't know. And they're just backing it up. They're going to drop the heritage unit off. They're going to drive it and then like pick it up or something, he said. So, yeah. That was very lucky. That was cool. Okay, you can't see it on my camera. There is a train sitting down there. And I don't know if you can see it on this. You can kind of see a small red box. That's the CP unit. It shut its lights off. So, we'll, I don't know if they said the heritage unit broke down or the normal CP unit broke down. All I know is something broke down and something. But we'll see.
Yep. Panzer managed to see CP-7017 break down and stop right in front of the depot. What luck. God, I'm so jealous. Anyways, it got better because right after that, this happened.
Okay, so that was not CPKC. That was an NS unit. That was a second heritage unit. Oh my god. That was the second heritage unit today. Okay, this just makes up for yesterday. I think that was the one of the two I missed yesterday. I missed Lehigh Valley, and then I think I missed that one that just passed by. Oh my god, 2 in one day. They were both eastbounds. Speaking of... Okay, CP is still down there. Dude, I can't believe I just caught that on accident. I caught both of those on accident. Oh my god. I don't think that was a good video, but I don't care. I just saw 2 heritage units. One was for NS, the other was CPKC. Dude.
He left after that, and on his way home, made his way around the port to see if he could find the stopped CP Heritage unit. He did find the end of the CPKC train, but no Heritage unit. Panzer returned trackside 4 days later on October 17th, 2025, for 2 trains. The first was a westbound Norfolk Southern manifest with a very fresh C6M trailing. And the second train was 266 eastbound with a very rare H2 duo. The Dash 9 leading was a nice touch, and there was a rare H2 Gevo trailing second. Quite the catch. Panzer's next time going out solo was an evening trip on November 5th, and is another one I'm very mad I wasn't there for. The first train is the main but not only reason why. Not only did it have a rare 9800 series Dash 9 trailing second, but the leader was NS 7574, the first engine I ever saw leading my first train on my first Railfanning trip, and I've been trying so hard to see it again since. It's not a heritage unit or anything, so tracking it is very difficult, and with the upcoming DC to AC Gevo rebuilds, it'll likely get rebuilt. so I really want to see it before then. The fact it came to the depot and I missed it makes me considerably upset. Just as the sun was beginning to set, 266 appeared, this time with a boring set of BNSF GEVOs. He moved under the overpass for the next train, which was more BNSF GEVOs, this time heading west on what I believe is 33G. Also, just ignore the number on the second engine, it's not cursed or anything. Then Liam arrived, and both he and Panzer made their way back to the normal depot spot just in time for an eastbound manifest with an awesome KCS leader. Late that same night, he found himself at the hospital spot and was able to catch one train while there, which was junk heading east on an intermodal. Panzer's main way of getting around is by bike, so once winter hit, his options to see trains were very limited. After this point, the only trains he saw were the holiday train, which I covered in my video on it, so I'm not going to show that footage here, and one train he caught in February, which was a westbound CPKC manifest with an actual CPKC unit leading. He wasn't trying to catch this, he just happened to see it while in the parking lot at Kroger's.
CPKC power, yeah!
His chance to see trains up close again would finally come on April 3rd, 2026, because his family decided to go to Chicago and they took the South Shore Electric, giving him the opportunity to see it and the other trains along its route. They got on board at the 11th Street station, and he got a video of their train rolling in with 105 in the lead. At a different station, his train passed another train going the opposite way with bi-levels. And then in Hammond, he got to see one of the South Shore Freight Jeeps parked in the yard. And then in Hegwish, he saw two of Norfolk Southern's GP33 Ecos, both of which live here at Hegwish Yard.
And another one.
On his way back, he also got a picture of the train he rode back, which was more bi-levels, and he also missed two more South Shore Freight Jeeps, an LTEX engine, and an ENJE SD38-2, but we don't talk about those, because I'm tired of hearing him complain about them. Sorry, Panzer, if that offended you. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. That's the end, yeah. There might be a sequel one day, who knows. I hope you enjoyed this, Panzer. I know you're watching. Not much to say, so, see you in the next video. Catch those units while you can, especially the ones that break down directly in front of the depot that make your friends incredibly jealous they weren't there. And I will see you in the next video.